Hello everybody, welcome to the lesson on changing percents into fractions, and also we're going to do fractions into percents. So both directions we're going to go with this one. So let's go ahead and start with percents and kind of just talk about the general meaning of percents. Now in this slide right here, I am just kind of giving you a little bit of introductory to what it's all about. And basically a percentage is a ratio. The percent means per 100, and what we're doing is we're comparing a number to 100. That's what a percentage is all about. So for example, 47% means 47 hundredths. That's what that is going to be about. 3% means 3 hundredths. 99% means 99 hundredths. I've also put on here, words that you might have seen before. I'm sure you've seen a lot of these words with cent in their name. A century is 100 years. A centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. 1 cent, a penny, is 1/100th of a dollar. A centurion is a commander of 100 soldiers, like an elite troop, I guess. Centipede, 100 legs, even though I don't think they have 100 legs, but that's why we call them a centipede, because I think they thought they had 100 legs. And centennial is a 100-year anniversary. So let's go ahead and start with one of the easiest things to do, which is changing a percent into a fraction. And like I said, a percent is of 100. That's what it literally means, of 100. So 26% means 26 hundredths. And of course, you need to simplify these. So 26 and 100 divide by 2, and you get 13/50ths. Okay, so 26% is 13/50ths. 40% means 40 hundredths. And then, reduce this any way you want. I think I divided by 2 here and got 20/50ths, and then you can divide by 2 again, and you get 10/25ths. And then at this point, you're still not in lowest terms, so divide by what number? Yes, you are correct. Divide by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 2/5. That's what that means. 40% is 2/5. 76%, again, is 76 100ths. And then just keep reducing it by 2 until you get down to simplest form, so 19/25ths. 160%, that's an example of a percent where it's over 100, and don't get too scared with that, but if it's over 100%, you're going to get a mixed number or a whole number. I mean, if it's 300%, you might get 3. If it's 500%, you'll get 5. But if it's 160%, that's going to be a mixed number. And do the same thing you've always done. Put it over 100 and just reduce it. So I divided by 2 and divided by 2 again, which is the easiest way. Some of you can reduce things in the lowest terms in one step, and that's great. Just go ahead and do that. I'm just kind of showing how a typical student might go about solving these. So divide by 2 again, and then at this step, I divided by 5. And no matter how you reduce it, it's still going to be improper if you do it right. So 8/5 ultimately equals 1 3/5. So I would say this is one of those easier things to do. Just to change a percent into a fraction, you just put it over 100. That's all you got to do, and just get rid of the percent sign. And then, of course, you got to reduce, but it's really not as hard as you think. All right, this is just another slide. You can pause this and read through this if you want, but just more information that I just said. Here's some examples. You might want to go ahead and pause the video at this point, try these out on your own, and then check your work by unpausing it and seeing how you do. So go ahead and pause it now. Okay, so if you are done with these, let's check our work here. 23% is 23 hundredths. That one does not reduce. 80% is 4/5. 55% is 55 hundredths, which reduces to 11 20ths. 12% is 12 hundredths, which reduces by 4, and you get 3 25ths. 17% is 1700ths, and 36% divides by 4, giving you 9/25. So that's how you change a percent into a fraction. Not too difficult, pretty simple stuff. All right, now let's go the other direction with this. So now let's go where we have a fraction, like 19/20ths, and let's change that to a percent. Now there's a lot of ways you guys can do this. You can just put it in your calculator and just do 19 divided by 20 and change it to a decimal and then change that to a percent. But let's pretend we don't know anything about decimals at this point, and because we will get to that in a future lesson. But let's just use proportion since that's fresh in our heads. Let's use a proportion to help us solve this problem. So 19/20 has a very convenient denominator. Our denominator is 20. Now, when I say convenient, I mean that's a number that goes into 100 quite nicely. 20 goes into 100, 25 does, 50 goes into 100, 10, 5 does. Those are numbers that you like to have as denominators because then it's just a matter of multiplying the numerator by that factor, whatever the factor is that it goes into 100. So like I said, it's nice when this denominator, it's nice when this denominator is a factor of 100, and that makes it really easy because then you can just compare it to 100. So 19/20, all you have to do now is just look at, okay, how many times does 20 factor into 100? And it factors into it 5 times. And multiply that on the top. 19 times 5 is, let me get my calculator out. I think it's 2 million. Wait, oh, my calculator said 95. Okay, there we go. So 95% is the fraction. There you go. That's a pretty good test score right there. If you want to get 19 out of 20 points, that's, ultimately you should get 20 out of 20. But 19 out of 20, that's a very good score. All right, 37 out of 50. That's like Joakim Noah's free throw shooting percentage. So 37/50ths, and compare that to 100. Now, like I said, 50 is a number that that divides by or divides into 100 nicely. It's compatible with 100. And how many times does 50 go into 100? Twice. So multiply by 2 there and multiply by 2 on the top, and then you'll get Joakim Noah's free throw shooting percentage. 74%. That's not too bad, but not that great either. Especially for a shot where you're just standing there unguarded and you have 10 seconds to shoot it. All right, here's our next one, 2/5. Right, we have that convenient denominator of 5, and 5 goes into 100, so we can use 100. How many 5s are there in 100? Well, there's 20 nickels in a dollar, so 5 times 20 is 100, and then 2 times 20 is 40. There you go. So 40%. There you go. Believe it or not, 40% would be a good percentage, a hitting percentage, if you were a baseball player. All right, 3/10. This one's so easy, a caveman could do it. 3/10 equals how many hundreds? Well, 10 goes into 100 10 times. 3 times 10 is 30. There you go. So 30%. 17/25. And I'm continuing with the theme of convenient denominators. I think that your first assignment in your book has those denominators where it's a number that really is nice and compatible with that 100 number. So 25 goes 100 4 times. 17 times 4 is 68. So you get 68%. All right, one more for good luck here. 24/20. Now this is an example of one where it's improper. So you could expect when you're done, you're going to get a percent that's greater than 100. And 20 goes into 100 5 times, and then 5 times 24 is 120. So there you go, 120%. Okay. So that does it for the fractions into a percent. I would say that's the trickier of the two, but it's, and it's especially easy. Like I said, it's especially easy if these numbers are compatible with 100. So just try to spot those out because, like I said, it's not always going to be spelled out for you. You're going to have to find them. and look for them. But when those denominators are factors of 100, it makes it pretty simple. All right, one more thing here is percent of a number problem. And, when it says percent of something, right? So what you do first is you change a percentage into a fraction. So 23% would be 2300s, or 19% would be 1900s. 75% would be 7500s, or 3/4. Reduce it to lowest terms. You don't have to keep it over 100 if you don't want to. The second step is to change of into a multiplication symbol, because that's what of means. And then the third step is solve it, figure it out. So what is 23% of 45? Well, let's figure it out. So 23% is going to be 2300s, okay, times, sorry about my order of my animations here, but 45 over 1, okay? So 2300s times 45 over 1. And we're just going to cross cancel here on what number goes into 45 and 100. And they both end in 5 and 0, so it's got to be 5. So 45 divided by 5 is 9. 100 divided by 5 is 20. There you go, easier problem. So 23 times 9 is 207. And 20 times 1 is 20. Now that's improper, 207 20ths. And then change that into a mixed number. Let's just do 207 divided by 20. There's your answer, 10 and 7/20. So what is 23% of 45? 10 and 7/20. That makes sense to me. 23% is kind of close to 25%, and 25% is kind of like a quarter. Well, it is a quarter. It's a fourth. And if I'm going to take a fourth of 40 something, then I would expect 10. Because a fourth of 40 is 10. So this answer makes good common sense to me, which you guys should all be doing. You should always be asking yourself, does my answer make sense? And that does our lesson for percents to fractions, okay? Make sure you guys fill out your flip notes and bring any questions to class tomorrow if you were confused about anything I went over. Remember, you can always go back and review the video, rewind, pause, look up more notes if you need to, if you're ever confused. But the idea of these is for you to go at your own pace and stop when you need to stop and move forward when you're ready to move forward. So that does it. Everyone have a good night. See you tomorrow.